r/NoSleep. Posted by you/No-onewastaken. If you hear scratching and whispers coming from your closet, don't open the door. It all started when I was 12 years old. I was living with my mom in a small house out on the countryside of Sweden. From a young age I never believed in boogeymen hiding under my bed or monsters in my closet. But it all changed the night of my 12th birthday. I did my normal before bed routine of brushing my teeth, reading my favorite book and then turning off the light ready to fall asleep. I woke up around 1:34 a.m. to a weird noise coming from somewhere in my room. At first I just thought it must have been the tree branch of an old oak that was stood outside of my bedroom. But then I heard something whisper my name, Jacob. That's when I started to get scared. I hid under my sheets thinking it would protect me from whatever was in my room. But the scratching and whispering continued for hours. It was almost dawn when it stopped whispering my name. After what I believed was an eternity of waiting for that voice to disappear, I mustered up enough courage to peek up from my blankets. All I saw was my normal room, but in middle of my floor was a note. On that note was something that looked to be written in blood. That note said, "Won't you come play with me, Jacob?" That's when I heard my mother walking around downstairs. I rushed down the stairs to show her the note and tell her what had happened. But when I started to explain what had happened only hours ago, she shook her head and said it was due to a mix of my imagination and all the stories I've read before bedtime. I reached for the note which I had put in my pocket, but when I put my hand in my pocket there was nothing. The note had disappeared. I stood there dumbfounded over how that note could have just vanished. Every night without exception since I was 12 I've heard that voice whispering, calling out to me from my closet. One time when I was home alone I decided I'd had enough of the constant whispers and scratching. I went over to that door at exactly 1:34 a.m. and opened it to see that the closet wasn't full of clothes anymore, but that it had a huge hole at the back leading into the wall. That's when I saw it for the first time. The thing, the monster that had haunted me for the last 5 years, was a large and skinny man with a top hat and a permanent smile that went from ear to ear. When it saw me it walked slowly toward me. In a panic I closed the door and started to run out of my room. I was midway on the stairs when I heard my closet door slamming open with a quick crash like it had been ripped off from the hinges. When I was all the way down the stairs I looked up to see if that thing had followed me, and when I looked up those stairs I saw something that would haunt me for the rest of my life. I saw the creature on all fours with a wide smile on its face. I got a better view of the creature's face in the light and I saw 2 hollow sockets where its eyes were supposed to go. It let out a demonic screech that forced me to cover my ears as I ran outside my house. It followed me as I bolted towards the forest where I thought I was safe. As I ran for what felt like miles I could still hear that creature screech as if it was right behind me. A few minutes later the screech got quieter. That's when I took the opportunity to hide behind a fallen tree a few hundred feet in front of me. I waited for what felt like hours when I remembered that my mother would be home soon. I ran as quickly as I could towards the direction I thought was leading to my house, but after being lost for hours dawn finally came and I had found my way home. But when I got to the house I saw a tall silhouette with a top hat that was waving to me from my living room window. My stomach sank when I saw my mother's car wrecked on the driveway of my house. I saw a trail of blood leading towards my front door. I walked inside to see blood and flesh that was shredded all over the hallway and kitchen. When the police came they didn't believe my story and arrested me for the murder of my mother. This was 25 years ago and now I'm a free man. I went to therapy for my trauma from that night, but I will always remember that silhouette waving towards me. But my son recently started complaining about scratching and hearing whispers from his closet. r/NoSleep. Posted by you/Harambe_556. Morse's Mask Shop, Employee's Guide. I'm truly sorry. But I had to get out. The most I can give you is this list of rules, like my predecessor gave me. Be a good employee, like I was, and you might just make it. Good luck, and watch the shadows. 1. Never, ever, under any circumstances, should you look Morse in the eyes. 2. Always make sure the shelves are stocked. Failure to do so will lead to your termination. You will find boxes of new masks in the employees only section. Use these to restock. This supply of fresh masks will never run out. 3. You may try on any mask on display in the front of the store, as long as there are no customers to see you. However, make certain sure you remove the mask within an hour of putting it on. Be warned, the clocks will try to deceive you. It is safest to never keep a mask on for prolonged periods of time. Wear a mask for longer than the hour limit, and you will never see your own face again. 4. Greet customers politely and respectfully, no matter how erratic their behavior seems. Very rarely, you will have an unsavory client enter the store. Remember, keep that smile fixed to your face. They will try everything to make you crack. 5. You will notice, after a while, that the masks switch positions without you moving them. Leave them as they are. 6. During your rest period, make your way as quickly as you can to your living quarters. Remain there for the duration of your off-duty time. Lock the door. As much as the staff on the next shift might want to run into you, you do not want to run into them. 7. Never take a mask back to your living quarters. 8. Underneath your bed, you will find a standard issue employee toolkit, containing a bell, flashlight, and thick blindfold. Never lose or break one of these tools, you will need all of them. 9. When venturing to the second floor, always bring the bell. Ring it continuously when traveling through the aisles upstairs. The noise will alert the lingerers to your coming, and give them time to scatter. If you catch them by surprise, they will choose fight over flight. 10. Every so often, the lights in the shop will, without warning, go out. In this event, calmly switch on your flashlight and return to your living quarters. If something whispers your name from the dark, ignore it. 11. Every 6 months, Morsu will conduct a conference with his associates from partner stores. Such an event will be heralded by the sound of deathly silence, a bizarre auditory phenomenon in which all sound, electrical buzzing, creaking floorboards, even your breathing, will seemingly be cut off from your ears. Do not be alarmed. Simply put your blindfold on, and stand as still as you can, where you are. However tempted you are, however alone you feel, do not lift the blindfold until the sound returns. Morsu's associates cannot see you if you cannot see them, but, should you alert them to your presence, well, they are always on the lookout for new mask-making materials. 12. You are never permitted to enter the basement. Here, Morsu displays his finer work, masks that are not made for the human mind to comprehend. Morsu will personally greet customers wishing to browse this unique collection at the door to the shop. When such a customer arrives, make yourself scarce. 13. Try not to pay too much attention to the architecture of the shop. At some point, you will begin to realize that it does not always adhere to our idea of geometry. Do not spend too much time trying to come to grips with straight lines which bend and cubes with 3 faces. Entire areas of the shop can be affected by these spatial paradoxes. Most importantly, don't spend too much time in these areas. Morsu has mentioned several past employees disappearing into infinitely rotating hallways, or staircases which always lead back to their beginning. 14. Make small talk with Morsu. Nothing overly informal, of course, but I got the sense during my time there that he preferred workers with a bit of personality. Do not let him get bored of you. 15. Under no circumstances should you leave the store. Morsu cannot protect you when you step into their domain. 16. No matter how well you perform, eventually, it will become too much for you. You will want to carry on, as I did, and the one before me. You will want to spare anyone else from this twilight existence. But the point will come when you cannot go on, when your mind and body is exhausted from the shivers and the close calls and the sleepless nights. At this time, you should simply write a resignation letter, as you would in any other job. You will find paper and pens in the employee-only room. Leave this letter on Morsu's desk in your last shift of the night. Go to sleep. If Morsu judges you to have served your time well, you will wake up in your own bed. At the moment you left, someone else will wake up in the mask shop, in your place. If he judges you to have been an unworthy employee, you will open your eyes, still in the shop, immobile, mouth in a silent scream, just another mask among the shelves.